Good morning, good afternoon to all of you high manifesting individuals out there. Welcome again to this informative channel of information that will change your understanding, your perception, your perspective of life and how things work and how the universe molds into our dimension, or what we call our reality. So hello, how's everybody doing today? Manifest anything you want or need, desire, whatever. This is how it works, and this is how it's going to go down. So how's everybody doing today? All right, so our question today is, hey Mark, what is the superconscious mind, the subconscious mind, the conscious mind, and the higher self? Can you please shed some light on what these states of being are? Okay, it's a great question. All right, so before I can answer, yes, you can ask a question here as well, Christine. You can ask any question you want here while I'm here live. Okay, so before I get into that, I have to get into this so that you can understand that. So I have a question for all of you tuning in. Here's my question. Tell me who you are. Okay, who are you? And where are you? Where is the me and the I? Who are you? Okay? I want you to answer me that question. Think about that. Okay, are you Jane, Christine? Am I Mark? Okay, where is the Mark? Is it inside of my head? Is it in my brain? Like, who am I and who are you? Ponder that. Ponder that. Okay? Who are you? Where's the me at? Alright. Alright, so now let's get into Mark. What is the superconscious mind? What is the higher self? What is the conscious mind? What is the subconscious mind? Grand Rising. So here, I'm going to give you the easiest analogy, okay? So here's what I want you to picture. Okay, let's talk about processing. Conscious mind processes about 18 to 20,000 thoughts per day. Subconscious processes about 3 billion bits of information per second. Superconscious and higher self, hold up before we get there. Let's break down the other two. Here's the analogy I want you to look at so you can understand it. First thing that you must be aware of, guys, is this, okay? Here's the thing. There is no beginning and there is no end. Okay? Beginning and end is a human construct. You got to keep that in the back of your mind for this to make sense to you, to understand how you are, how you work. So I know we're used to seeing beginning and end, but in the universe, guys, there is no beginning and end. It's infinite. It's hard to imagine that concept. It's hard to imagine something you cannot imagine, or your brain hasn't been derived to imagine, but that's something you have to know, okay? Hey, I won $20. Not sure how I did it. That's through your higher self. Congratulations. More to come. All right. So with that being said, okay, here's what I want you to imagine. So let's imagine an ocean, okay? So we have the ocean, and then we have the beautiful sky above the ocean. All right, here's how it works. The surface of the ocean is your conscious mind. Okay? The surface of the ocean, you can see a lot of stuff, okay? Below the surface of your ocean is your subconscious mind. So you know, below the ocean is very deep. It's a lot of stuff there you can't understand. Now keep in mind, I'm just doing this to make sense. It's infinite. So just to give you an analogy, under the ocean is a lot of things. You know, the Earth is more ocean than Earth, right? It should be called water world instead of Earth. I don't know why it's Earth. It's only 20 to 30% Earth, land. It's actually 70% water. It's a water world we live in. Anyways, so imagine that. Under the ocean, right, would be your subconscious mind, okay? So we got the conscious mind, the surface level, at the top of the water is your ocean, is the conscious mind. Now when you're on top of the water, the conscious mind, you're on top of the water, you're seeing things on your horizon, right? But when you go below this ocean, it's a whole new world. It's a whole different things you haven't experienced, probably haven't even imagined existed, okay? So that's the conscious, the subconscious. Now, the superconscious. Superconscious, higher self, they are the same. Okay? All right. Now, okay, by the way. The superconscious would be the sky above the surface of the ocean below. So that means above the sky. So when you look up, where else you go into? Into space. Where else you go into space? Infinite reality, infinite dimensions. That would be the superconscious mind. See how much power that is? Now the higher self goes beyond the superconscious mind. The higher self now is outside of space-time. So think about it. So the higher self will look down upon this part of the universe, look down upon the ocean, the surface, then go down into the ocean. Okay, so here's how it works. The higher self, which is you, sends information to the field of the superconscious where everything is stored. It directs the superconscious to send information to the subconscious. The subconscious then sends the information up to the conscious, and the conscious sees whatever has been sent, created, manifested by the subconscious. The conscious mind only can perceive it. It cannot manifest it. It cannot figure out how it's going to come into your life. It only can see what has been put in front of it to manifest. Does that make sense? Now back to the question, who are you? Okay, your brain, they cannot find the self. Let's get more technical. There are multiple yous in the brain. You have an ego, you have another mind. They all interact as one. So, in layman's terms, the self of who you are is an illusion. It's not. It's fake. It's not you. It's generated through the field, through your higher self that sends it down into you so you can experience it. So here's how you're gonna manifest when you know this stuff. You no longer associate yourself with the self. Here's the most powerful tool that I'm going to share with you right now. I've never shared this before, but I'm going to share it now. How to overcome anything, anger, disappointment, the ego, and become aligned with the present moment of your greatest awareness of the universe. Here's how it is. You refer to yourself as me and I. You no longer do that. Now you're going to refer to yourself as a third person. For example, here you go. If I'm worried about something and I'm wondering why something is working, I wouldn't think to myself, man, I step out. Now I go like this. I said, oh, Mark is worrying. I wonder what Mark is worrying about. Oh, Mark is worrying that he got that. Or Mark is wondering why that hasn't come in yet. You see that? When I associate myself as a third person talking to this thing here, the resistance immediately goes down. Because now the ego has been disassociated, man. When I talk to myself as a third person, I am no longer constrained to limitations, man. I'm outside the box talking into the box. Because first of all, I am not Mark. That was made up. Because there is no I and me in my head. It's all programming that was given to me in the matrix through my family and through the system. So if I associate myself with that title, I associate myself with the limitations. So now all I do every day now, when something comes up, I say, Mark, this Mark is over here. Mark, you got to relax. You know, hey, Mark is worried about this, and Mark doesn't have no idea that everything is going to work out in his favor. Just like that, I shift away from that field. That will reduce anxiety, reduce stress, because you see, your ego loves to be associated as a me and an I. If you're telling the ego and you're speaking from somewhere else, it's going to confuse it. It's going to say, well, what the heck's going on? It's us you're talking to. No, I'm not talking to us. There's no us. There's no me. There's no I. There's only the infinite. and I am speaking from this to this person here. See, you got to take yourself away from your personality, your name, and all that stuff, because that's attachment, people. That is the most powerful tool you can use. You try it right now, you see how far you go. I'll repeat it again. I never refer to myself as me or we or I. I talk to myself as someone else. I say, well, look at this. Look at Mark worrying. Look at Mark being stressed. Look at Mark wondering. There's no I anymore, people. The mind gets attached to that. When the mind gets used to that, guess what the mind's going to do? The mind now is going to let it go. The mind can't find you anymore. So if the mind can't find you, guess what it does? It releases attachment and it allows abundance. That means, guess what goes down? Stress, anxiety, depression. They all fade away, man. Listen, people, what I just gave you, not even a therapist, maybe I don't know, a psychoanalyst, a psychologist, wherever you go, they'll charge you $10,000, $15,000. They'll never tell you this information. Maybe they don't even know it themselves. Maybe they think it's too wacky or crazy. But the laws of physics and laws of science now is showing us, and neuroscience shows us that's how it works. If you don't believe me, go test it for yourself. Start talking to yourself from the third person perspective. Don't associate yourself with anything comes up in your mind, just remind yourself, oh, listen, look at this guy Mark. Hey man, Mark, why is this guy worrying? Why is Sarah thinking about how she's going to get that stuff? If only Sarah knew that everything is already going to work out for her. She got to stop tripping. Hey man, look at this guy Mark over here, wondering. Very powerful. Because now, the I in me now gets so stuck. And it says, wait a minute. Hold on. Bro, it's us. Then it starts to think, oh damn, so there's no us or me in here? Immediate detachment. Now, let's go to the next part of it. So now when I say, because it's not me anymore, I'm talking from the field now. And I say, man, Mark is just worrying or considering. He doesn't know that everything is already set for his success. Listen, I say everything is already set for your success. How do I know that? Am I just selling my mind a dream or a hope? Actually, I'm not, people. And let me show you the next proof of the system of how this works. Now, so we know that the conscious mind is the top of the water, subconscious below the water, superconscious is the sky above, going into space, infinity, the higher self outside of that timeline. I know this is a lot, many of you joining right now. I'll save this so I can send this again. So now let's go to show you how everything is already set for you as a predestined part of your being. Okay, now let's go into the concept of this 3D world where we have the concept of time. Now for the record, there is no time that exists. Okay, so let me make it simple for you to understand. I do a lot of videos about time and the concept, but this one is going to be very easy for you to understand. All right, so time is something that we perceive according to the change. There's actually no time. So from when you're a baby and you get to a kid, you get to an adult, you think that's time. That has nothing to do with time. That is called entropy. It's how the universe goes from order to disorder. So when we are seeing change, our brain gives us a perception of a time based on the lunar system of our planet and the orbits of the sun and the moon. So our brains develop that. So there is actually no thing as a past or a future. Okay, get that? So what your brain is tricking you is when you're seeing you're getting older and older, you're actually never getting older and older. You're just getting to the state of order to disorder. You call it older. And then remember, order to disorder will recycle itself as infinite. Okay, so yeah, hopefully that makes sense, because this is how it's going to work. So the only thing that ever happened is always in this moment of time. There's every possible outcome of you existing. So let me do the example to show you. So let's look at this. This is a block. So let's see. Okay, the top of this block here, and then below this block. We call this the block universe. So time works like this. Everything is in this block. Let's look at this as a loaf of bread. When I slice this bread right here, I'm talking to you now. My birth is here. My death is here. My birth is here again. My desires, all my realities are all in these different points of this block. So as I'm cutting the block, it's already happened, but it's just in a different coordinate. All, by the way, all at the same time. See? So everything is happening simultaneously. So that means my destiny and your destiny was already predetermined before you came into existence. Because here's the block. Your birth and everything is over here. See that? So what I do now, so when I say to myself, this Mark guy is worrying about something, but it's already set up for success. How do I know it's going to be my success? Because in the block, when everything is already done, what I will achieve and what's meant for me will be downloaded into me, into my consciousness as desires. So basically, whatever desire I have, a lot of, or whatever drives me the most, that is what I will accomplish as my destiny. Whatever desire you have, whatever drives you the most, that's what you will accomplish as your destiny. So that's why I say to you, it's already been figured out and done for you. See? By the way, you cannot change that stuff. Your destiny is already predetermined. Let's go back to the block. So I'm in the blocks. So what is it? Why does it look like I have free will then? Why can I make a choice? Well, here's what happens. It gives you the illusion that you have the free will. So what's happening here is you're down in this part of the block. Your higher self is directing your subconscious to guide your conscious. And then when your conscious mind does things, when you make a decision to go over here today, you're thinking that's a free will decision. Actually, it's not a free will. It was already pre-made by your subconscious mind for you to go to the coffee shop, for you to go get the ice cream. But to your conscious mind, it makes you think you made a choice. You didn't never make a choice. The choice was already made before for you by your subconscious mind. So now here is how the free will aspect of it come in. When the subconscious mind came here, it had a faulty program. So it was doing things that you see around your environment. So what you can do, you can go into the subconscious, and this is where your free will comes in, and you can program the subconscious to make you more money, to make you more healthy, to make you more positive while you're navigating to reach your purpose. That's where the free will, the think of free will comes in. So the free will comes in by your awareness to recognize that you have faulty program and you can go change it. But at the end of the day, no matter what you do, you're still going to end up fulfilling your purpose. For the ones who are aware of it. The ones who are not aware of it, they will go through their life unknowingly, and then guess what will happen? They'll come back again until they figure out why they're here. And once they figure that out, they'll move on to another level of reality. So in the end, everyone wins. You see how that works? So now you know that is already set up for your success. I don't want to come back. How do I figure out my purpose? It's very easy to figure out your purpose, people. Your purpose is tied to what you want to do in your heart. What is your big goal? What is your big dream? What is something that's very unimaginable? What is the thing that you always want to do, but you don't think you can do it because you don't ever see yourself making money from it? That's the purpose. So everyone has that. Every single person have something inside of them that they like to do. Okay? And then you do that. You go off and you come back. By the way, when you say I don't want to come back, you'll never remember you came back, so it doesn't even matter. You'll just be a new conscious being, a new conscious experience, and it'll just continue and continue and continue. But here's the main point. While you're here in this moment of time and you're living your life and you want to change your life, and then you get attached and attacked by your ego, you can fix that by separating the I and the me out of the picture, because they don't exist. They are gibberish that's created through evolution of our survival system, through our conscious mind. It was your brain's best way to keep sanity and to keep you alive long enough to survive in this 3D space. So your personality, your name and all that is really irrelevant. It's not even true. It's not you. So think about that. When you have your name and your ID and your image, you're going to get attached to a lot of stuff, man. You're going to get attached to the struggle, to all that stuff, because your brain is constantly going to focus on that thing, because the brain is focused on the me and the. But when you go into the third person and you take yourself out separate yourself from me, and you talk to yourself like you're talking to someone else, then the brain now will glitch up it's going to glitch because the brain has never heard that, used to that before. So what's the best thing about our brains? You know what our brains are, people? Our brains have neuroplasticity. When our brain sees something different or new, and you're doing it for a while, you know what it's going to do? It's going to adapt to it. So if I keep talking to myself in the third person, I don't know this Mark guy, and whatever issues, I say, why is this guy worrying? Why is Mark worrying? Mark doesn't know it's going to be okay. Mark, relax, everything's going to be okay. Mark, you're worrying about something that doesn't even matter because that's not even who you are. Mark, this is a game. Your life is already set up, man. You're going to be good, man. I keep saying that as a third person to the brain. You know what my brain does? My brain's going to rewire itself now, and then all of my attachment will become released. This is what people experience when they get into really high states. They feel non-attached. They feel like so much this love. They just feel this elegancy and all that. That's what you're going to experience. And here's the reason why this is important now. Remember this. All of the things that are tied to what we manifest is tied to our attachment to ourself and our environment. If you can become detached from every single thing around you, it says, the laws of physics says, it has no other option but to come into your space because there isn't any resistance. Remember, every action leads to what? Opposite reaction, right? Action, reaction, cause, effect. If there is no causality, there is only going to be effect and the effect was already abundance in the field. So, if I do that, my ego will slowly become so quiet that nothing bothers me, nothing makes me worry, nothing makes me anxious anymore, because in the end I know it must work out. This can only come though by approaching it from dissolving the me and the self identity and going into looking down and talking to that person as someone else in your head. You can only achieve that way. Cannot achieve no other way. That's the only way your brain will learn to filter and adapt to that. So that means if you're constantly arguing with yourself, like yourself, you're just going to create more self. Got it? I'll do one question here. What does it mean if all the signs have stopped and I'm feeling more negative, doubting? That means yourself has got you. It means your ego is in control. It means your ego is looking for how and is doubting it. But I got great news for you. If you're doing what you're doing and all the signs have stopped, it's a sign that everything is getting ready to come into your reality. Guys, you got to remember the big picture. I'll say this again because it's so important. Your mind, regular mind that I'm talking to you right now, cannot decode, decide, create, bring into existence what you want. Can't figure it out. It can only, listen carefully, it can only perceive, see, contemplate, analyze what has already been presented to it. And from that analyzation, it will try to figure it out, but it can never do it. So my advice to you is do not focus on what's happening in this time with your mind and seeing. Just focus on the internal part of seeing the big picture. Then it will come into your world and your mind will experience it. All right. I'll see you guys again next time.